Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. How you all doing? And welcome to my player ratings, which again I'm doing live just for the sake of ease today. Really is sort of my reason for doing this live. Basically, I am very busy at the moment, so editing videos is quite tough. So I'm going to do this live just for the sake of ease and just to kind of help me, get it out easier for you guys. I wouldn't want to do a pre-record that isn't well looked after and well, looked at. And the edits don't take me too long, obviously. It's just kind of me talking, but it's all about making sure that we have, decent levels of quality in the videos. Enough rambling anyway. Welcome if you're watching live. Hopefully you're all well. And we are going to get into this player ratings performance. As you can see by the title, I put a poor performance in the little ticker there. I don't know whether I actually believe that, thinking about it. Or move the camera down, sorry, it's a little bit too high up. And, looking back, it was one of those where, is it a bad performance? Is it one of those things where, do you know what, it could have been better? 100%. But is there, what's the word I'm looking for? Are there moments and are there players and are there particular performances that we can pick out and say that was a positive? And I think actually looking at it overall, you could say a lot of the performances were quite positive, especially defensively. I think we were quite strong. I think we're also against a really strong Palace team. They're really good in their formation. So it's kind of one of those things where you sort of have to sit there and go, was this just two solid teams kind of neutralising each other and making both sets of their flair players sort of look a bit drab and not very good? I think that's potentially what happened as well. I think you have to look at the context of the game. I know some fans will be saying, well, Palace, they were out on the lash a couple of days before. And yes, that is accurate. I think that is possibly why, as West Ham fans, be more annoyed, not because they played in Europe, but because, they did have that days of celebrating. But also with West Ham, when we were in that season, when we were in Europe for a few years, we would still be able to celebrate after games and then turn up. So it's not exactly out of the ordinary that wouldn't affect them as much as we would have hoped, if that makes sense. I genuinely believe that there's always a good opportunity in those moments, but it's not exactly the deciding factor of the game. To me, I don't look at a team's prep as the definitive, this is what's going to win us the game, especially when it's a team riding high on confidence, which I think is actually more important than match prep sometimes. Because I do think sometimes you can vibe yourself to a win. We've done it a lot at West Ham. There's games where we have been absolutely poor, but then we just turn on the style. I think that's kind of what Palace did. Not that they were poor, but they just turned on the style in the moments they needed to, especially defensively, as did we. And I think that comes across in kind of our view of the game as West Ham didn't try hard enough, which I don't think is fair. Looking at it, it's one of those things where you're in the moment and you're on the night of the game and you've dropped 2 points, it seems, and you just don't know what to do. You're sort of sat there and you don't quite know how to feel. So maybe my player ratings might be a bit higher than your guys's. I don't know. If you are watching, I think there are a few watching live, please do comment in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Who's your man of the match, or player of the match now as it's called, and who were you a bit disappointed by? Hopefully you guys agree with my ratings, and certainly get your ratings in the comments as well. I'd love to see them. And also make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. If you are new, welcome to the channel. There's a lot of you guys joining recently, and it means a lot to me. So thank you very much. Okay, so in goal, we had Mads Hermansen. I'm going to give him a 7. I think he was fine, but I think he wasn't really contested. And the moment he was contested, he was a little bit wobbly. And there were certain decisions he did that I didn't really like. But overall, he was decent enough. There was just a few moments I went, if it was a different team, they would have punished us a lot more. I think Hermansen was adequate. I'm going to give him a 7. There was one moment where he saved a shot that was going out anyway and gave him the corner. That was one moment where normally his distribution is one of his better factors and he just booted it out of the pitch. Yeah, there's one moment where he tried to get a tackle, tried to get a foul, sorry, and it was never going to be a foul, so if that went in, that would have cost us, but luckily didn't. So, outside of all that, which I know sounds like a lot, he was solid. And I think when you're untested, your bigger moments don't shine through as much in the brain. So I think it would be unfair for him to give him a lower score. I always like to go from left to right. So we'll go left back, Al-Haji Malik Juff. I thought Juff was poor. I'm going to give him a 5. I think Juff was really poor. Was not a fan of Juff yesterday. I thought he was really struggling. I don't know why. I think the issue with Juff is that we normally love him for his crossing, and we normally don't like his defensive work. But I actually thought his defensive work was stronger than his crossing. I don't know whether that's me being silly. I genuinely believe that his crossing was abysmal. Normally he can create you a little bit of something, and there was just nothing from Juff. I'm not saying it was for lack of trying. I will say that. I think he genuinely gave everything that he could possible. I don't think he was sat there going, ooh, I'm not going to try today. I actually will say that about all of the players who put on the show, so I thought everyone gave a lot. But Juff, I just think it was one of those players that just didn't turn into anything, didn't create anything, and everyone was just really poor. Really poor. Next up, going to be Axel Dizazi. I'm going to give him an 8. I think 8 is fair. I think it was absolutely solid. Made no mistakes. Looked great in defence. Probably had a bit more to than Mavropanos defensively. And that's probably why I'd err on the side of just giving him that 8. Because again, we weren't tested. And that is down to the centre-backs. I even give Mavropanos a score now, which I give him a 7. I think it was just that little bit under what you would expect from Dizazi. I think you had Mavropanos just underneath him. Mavropanos had a really good header as well. So maybe I will give Mavropanos an 8 as well, because actually Mavropanos was our most likely person to score. So you've got to give him credit where it is due, I suppose. Actually say, do you know what? You guys are doing God's work. The two centre-backs are saving West Ham's season for me. I don't know what we do without those guys. I think especially as well the fact they've got a really good partnership is great. That really helps us. Walker Peters, I'm going to give an 8 as well. I thought it was really good. I thought he was possibly player of the match, Walker Peters. I really like him. I like Masaka too. But I think that Walker Peters on a free transfer is now becoming a really good signing. Not that it wasn't already, because he was already a decent backup. But he's really showing that he has a point to prove when he says, you know what, I didn't join West Ham just to be the backup. I joined to, have competition and create competition for all the players in the team. And he's doing that. I think it was really good going forward. I think he had a really good link-up play with Jared Bowen. Yes, Jared Bowen couldn't really create a lot, but that wasn't Walker Peters' fault. Walker Peters was there trying to help him out, trying to do something, trying to create space. And I'm a big fan of Walker Peters' work. What can I say? So now we're going to the midfield. I'll go Souček first. I think Souček was fine. I'm going to give him a 7. Souček, solid enough. Not brilliant. Nothing electric. Did a job, Souček. Big fan. The issue is when he gets the ball, he's not great. And I think the annoying thing was because we didn't create enough from corners or set pieces, we didn't really get to see the best of Souček, and we didn't really get to use his attributes as well as he normally can in other games. So he was just kind of ineffective and quiet, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't decent. I just don't think he did too much. That's the issue. Again, you did nothing wrong, but you didn't create enough. So when you do nothing wrong for me, you're going to get a 7, but if you can do something great, you'll push them into those high numbers. Fernandez, I love this man. I'm going to give Mateus Fernandez an 8 out of 10. I think just because, again, there was no real moments of higher quality for me to push it any higher. But I do think he was solid. Again, some really good challenging moments where he tackled. He really held the ball out at points as well. Travelled with the ball really nice. Did a decent job. Just not enough to kind of push on any higher, because we didn't really create anything. Somerville on the left, I'm going to give him a 6. I think it's fine. Had no impact on the game whatsoever. Had a little shot. Didn't really do much with it. There's not really much to say about Somerville. Just always goes, he's quiet. And some fans are worried that, he's had this injury, now he's not on his wicked form that he was before. And yes, that's true. But I do think there'll be a moment or two this season where he'll still get something. I don't think we've seen the end of Somerville's top performances. I do think he'll get a goal or two. And ultimately, I think Somerville is going to be one of those players that's key to West Ham staying in the Premier League. Jared Bowen on the right, I'm also giving him a 6. For similar reasons to Somerville, really. Just didn't create anything. Wasn't bad. Worked his socks off as always. Just couldn't get in the positions. The defence at Palace just stopped him. They scouted him really well, it seems, on the training pitch, because they knew exactly what to do with Jared Bowen. They just neutralised him. And you can put that down to Jared Bowen not doing enough, but I saw a man who was literally giving everything. He was huffing and puffing. He was trying his best, but just couldn't get anything off. I think a 6 is fair. I just people are really upset with his performance. I think Jared Bowen's one of those players that's really unfairly treated by West Ham fans sometimes, because he's brilliant and he's literally giving everything for the badge. And I think we expect such high levels from Jared Bowen that when he doesn't give that, in terms of results, some fans get a little bit, oh, come on, Jared's not on it. This is why we're down the bottom. He's a rubbish captain. And instead, we shouldn't be dogpiling on him. We should be trying to get behind him and try and give him something to get behind, to show that we believe in him. Because deep down, we all do. I know it's been a stressful time as West Ham fans, but we need to kind of, I think, relax on Bowen a bit. So I'm going to give him a 6. Nowhere near his best performance. Nowhere near his worst. Gave everything. Still tried to get us up the pitch. Just nothing doing, unfortunately. Which leaves us with the 2 strikers. I'm going to give Pablo a 5. Really wasn't happy with Pablo. I just feel like he was doing all of the running, but there was nothing to his game. I just thought he was getting absolutely done by the Palace defence. I think this was the first time I've seen Pablo be literally... What's the word? I can't think of the word. I'm trying to... He basically may not have been there. He was basically invisible, Pablo, in terms of his impact on the game. Really did nothing to help West Ham, which is unfortunate. I know he's young, he's going to have games like that. Hopefully it doesn't knock his confidence, because there is a brilliant player in there. I know some West Ham fans don't believe that. They just think he's rubbish. I'm not really about that. I think he's got something in him as old Pablo, but we need to perform better as a team. And I think when we perform better as a team, it allows Pablo, who is one of our lower confidence players, to actually get something. I think that's possibly what, I think that's maybe exposed why Pablo wasn't that great, is because the rest of the team are rubbish. I think he needs the rest of the team to do firing so he gets the confidence to do certain things, whereas yesterday none of our front four were creating anything. And I'll give Tati Castellanos a 6. He tried his best, but nothing. He had a bicycle kick attempt that was pretty wild. That's it. I think he had a shot as well, which went over the bar. It's just down to how good the defence were. He tried his hardest, but nothing doing. So that, I think, is an average of a 6 out of 10, which I think shows that the performance just wasn't good enough, against Palace. But I forgot Wilson come off the bench. I'll give him a 5. He literally had no impact on the game. I can't remember a single thing Callum Wilson did when he came on. I think Mohamed Kante came on too late, but I'd actually give him a 7, because he did try and he got in a few dangerous positions. Definitely gave away a free kick that ended up being the corner at the end of the game. Mohamed Kante could have been the saviour of West Ham there if that corner ended up, meaning to be something, but alas, it wasn't. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say Mohamed Kante is unscorable for this one, and I'm going to say Callum Wilson is a 5, which means I think my worst player on the pitch was Pablo, just because he didn't do anything. I can say for Bowen, Tati and Somerville, they at least had an impact on the game, even though it was liked, they still had an impact. Whereas Pablo had nothing. My player of the match, I'm going to give it to Walker-Peters. It's between Walker-Peters and Dizazi for me. I think they were both brilliant. But I'd edge it to Walker-Peters just because Jiff was having so much problem on the left, and Walker-Peters was having none of that on the right. Even his play going forward was solid. I think Walker-Peters has been slept on. And I'm really happy that, saw his performance in the cup and went, do you know what, lad, you're going to kick your shot. I'll keep you in the team. I'll tell you what, he's not given Wan-Bissaka a sniff, because his performances have been outstanding. So yeah, Walker-Peters is my man of the match. Let me know your man of the match in the comments down below. Please do like, comment and subscribe. I will be back, I suppose, tomorrow with a video if some news drops. Make sure you keep an eye on the shorts feed as well, because I'll probably drop some shorts of some quick fire news. And obviously Thursday I'll be back with my match preview for Everton at home. Fingers crossed we can get 3 points there. Please do like, comment and subscribe. See you guys later. Take it easy and bye-bye.